Pat Caldwell. I'm here from Collies of America Breed Education with Leslie Rappaport of Kings Valley Collies. Just a little background information here. You know it, but our audience might not. Founded in 1972 by the Rappaport family. To date has produced over 100 breed champions and innumerable working title holders, both rough and smooth coat varieties. 5 Collie Club of America Award of Merits in Smooths. Shining Star Committee worker, you and Candy Wisniewski. That was a project that you began together and it's still going today. Produced 6 collies as Roms. Held top producing smooth collie dam for nearly 20 years. Bred and trained the first dual title AKC champion and versatility champion and obedience title champion. And your mom authored the book Banner Forward, a guide dog book, correct?
A pictorial biography of a guide dog. Yes, a golden retriever guide dog.
Oh, a golden retriever. So something other than a collie, but collies have been your passion.
Definitely, but
why the collie?
That was my passion for helping people with dogs. I think came from the experience of Eva writing that book and attending the guide dog school, Guide Dogs for the Blind in San Rafael, with her when she went to do the photography for that book. Yes, collies are my love. Collies have been in my life since I was 2 years old. When I was 2, my mother adopted a collie that needed rescuing, a family dog, and that dog bonded with her immediately. And off they went together from the woman's house, and they were not separated until she passed when she was 7 from cancer. And it was just such a devastating loss for my mom that we couldn't have collies again right away.
So did she go to another collie? What was the next dog in your house?
So the next dog was a German Shepherd. And in the Shepherds, I learned a lot about temperament. We didn't stay in German Shepherds for very long, but long enough to heal from the loss of the first collie, who was named Angel, by the way. So it was a very formative time for me, I would say. I learned a lot about temperament and inheritability of temperament from the German Shepherd experience, because I adopted a puppy that my first dog, when I was 11 years old, was a shy German Shepherd. And I did everything with her. I'd rush home from school to train with her. And our rule in the family was that we had to do all the work for our own dog in order to have that dog. So I fed my dog and I groomed her. And my brother did the same for his. His was a golden. But time passed, and after having a dog with the world's worst hip dysplasia and the temperament problems, we were attending a dog show, and this van pulled up, and the back doors opened, and out jumped like 6 or 7 smooth collies. And Mom was in love at first sight. It was Marion and Catherine Wallace, and they were, I can't remember which dogs they had at the time, but they were very convincing, and I said, that's it. That's for me. I can do this. I can see these smooth collies and not be upset about Angel's loss anymore. So we started with smooth collies, and we started to search for foundation stock. And we were in Southern California, and Sandy Tuttle was in Northern California, showing very actively in the early 70s. And so we found Sandy and Black Hawk of Kaysan, and that was our foundation. And she was our mentor, our primary mentor, I would say. She and Joe Affeld, her partner. And so that's how we started in collies. And our first 2 foundation bitches we purchased in the early 70s, and I think our first litter was in 1974.
Okay, so you lived in LA, I think, originally?
Yes, in LA, until I was 16.
Moved here, and how did you find, this is heaven.
This place was a real find. well, for many years, my parents vacationed in Oregon, and it's such a beautiful state and so pristine in many areas. And they used to drive around on the back roads and camp wherever they could. They had, I remember, a ranchero station. When I remember rancheros with the pop-up back, and you have all your cook stove and everything. And so they were exploring Oregon. And the time came when my dad was able to retire. He was a nursing home director.
Oh.
And in 1969, I think, Eva was collecting articles about from Boris Levinson, about animals as therapy dogs, and as dogs as therapy animals in nursing homes, and the benefits of that. I'm amazed now, looking back at knowing the work that I do with the Collies, that this was an interest of theirs, both my parents.
Well, I find it interesting with your father's occupation.
Yes.
It seemed like that nurturing and that caring and what can I do just came genetically.
Yes, well, he was very popular, and he would say, when he would see the residents, hello, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, never was, never would call people honey or sweetie or anything to minimize who they were, and I really took that to heart. But when he was ready to retire, his dream was to find a place where he didn't have to shave to go to work. He just wanted to
he was tired
enjoy
of
the farm. Yeah, he wanted to enjoy the farm. And his favorite thing was the cows, milking the cows. My mom was passionate about sheep and goats, and for 30 years she and I raised colored Romney sheep for the wool and pygmy goats. And alongside of those activities were the foundation of our work with the Collies. So we were looking right from the start for dogs that would fit in and function on the farm and do all kinds of different tasks with us, be in the barnyard, move the sheep here or there, hang around chickens and just be appropriate in their behavior. And so, that's how it all came to be. That's how we started. And Tender and Hallelujah were with us all the time on the farm. And their puppies grew up going to the farm, to the barn and doing farm chores with us.
We'll get into this later. So that's how really you developed this love for putting Collies into what they do, a work ethic. And with your love of, nurturing, that just came natural for what you eventually get into and really are passionate about.
Yes, I think combined with what I saw at the guide dog school when I was 11, and I attended with Mom, when she took her camera and went to San Rafael, got permission to take her camera to the campus and take pictures of a class actually in training. And I remember there was a very good-looking young man in that class with a German Shepherd, which probably got my attention especially. And he was, his life was changing right in front of me. He was getting happier every day with his dog. He was becoming free again, able to go where he wanted to go, and that really stuck with me. It impacted me, yes, very strongly. And so that and wanting to help people with dogs. Not blind people, because I knew that was covered, but I think it's sort of the seeds starting to germinate at that point, and I was thinking for years, how could I help? Where is the need?
Mm-hmm.
And then the experience with the German Shepherd that was so heartbreaking to find that we were not able to breed German Shepherds from a line that had inherited, poor temperament. They were capable of doing the work. And I remember that first German Shepherd I had retired at age 7, fell in love with a young man who was on the farm helping us out. We were developing the farm, and she just followed him around and really wanted to be with him. And that was what was making her happy. And so we let her go to be with him, and that sort of left me open to new dogs.
And one time you said that you let her go to be with where she wanted to be. It wasn't you were placing the dog because she wasn't doing what you wanted, but you were placing the dog where the dog needed to be, and we're going to get into that a little bit later too. Something else I found interesting was when you talked about the colored sheep. I know you've got a spinning wheel over there. Was that your mom's originally?
No, that was a gift from Mom to me, and it's all handmade. There was a man in Eugene that actually soaked the wood, cut the pieces and soaked them and bent them and used wooden pins to assemble the parts. And it's a work of art.
And a labor of love.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot of work to create those, but that's why I haven't been able to part with it, even though my hands are a little arthritic now. I don't know if I could speak, but it's so beautiful.
It has many beautiful memories too.
Yes.
Your kennel name, Kings Valley.
Well, we live near Kings Valley. Kings Valley is a town 3 miles from here, and it's such an idyllic scenery, idyllic place, and I think that more than anything, we wanted to reflect that. There isn't any family name, there isn't a Kings in the family name or anything, so it's just location related.
For people who cannot witness what we have here, how much property is there here?
Oh, well, the family property is 153 acres.
So this is no backyard to take care of.
No, it's massive. It's massive. Too much, actually, but I'm trying my best because it's in a trust, and so most of the property is in trees. 30 acres has homes. My grandmother lived here till she was 96 and a half. She moved up with us from Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles till I was 16, and the rest of my life I've lived here. And I was born in New York, but moved to Los Angeles early. So mostly I'm an Oregonian, I think.
Right.
But not native.